By 1973, Rupert Neve designed the 8048 console, which featured the 1081 preamp equalizer. This was a different design from the original 1073. Universal Audio's Neve 1081 EQ plugin is an exact emulation of the channel module's 4-band EQ, with high and low cut filters featuring 2 parametric mid-range bands and high Q selections for tighter boosts or cuts. The EQ bands feature dual concentric controls. For each of the main bands, the inner knob controls the gain, while the outer ring controls the frequency. The low and high cut filters are grouped as one knob ring set, but they are actually 2 independent filters. From left to right, you have the high band, which is a shelf, or you can set it to a high peak select by clicking on this switch. By adjusting the inner dial to the right, you are boosting the gain. By turning it to the left or counterclockwise, you're reducing the gain. And then you can click and drag the outer ring. However, you can also click on this band, and it's going to cycle through the different frequency selections for you. If you want to go the opposite direction, hold Shift. The available range for the gain is approximately 18 dB on either direction. Next, you have the high mid band, which is a bell curve, and you can also engage the high Q for an error bandwidth. This is useful for sharper EQ cuts. When the button looks darker, that means that it's pressed in. Same thing for the low mid, and then you have the low band, which is either a shelf or a bell. Lastly, you have your high cut and low cut filters. And you can click on the filter to toggle through the different frequency settings. Then you have phase invert, and then EQ on or off. One thing I will mention is that if the gain switch is set to off, the entire EQ is bypassed. That means you might be cranking up the highs or the lows, and you're not going to hear any difference. Even though the EQ button is enabled, when the gain is set to off, it disengages the plugin.